Hey friends, welcome into another edition of 4 Minutes on Friday. Today, wanted to talk about the interesting tension that exists between fictional stories and nonfiction stories or biopics. A lot of times in fictional stories, good wins, evil is defeated, the struggle is overcome, and I love those kind of stories. Obviously, there's a big push right now within movie making and storytelling with superheroes, and a lot of times those pictures end. And yes, there is struggle that ultimately is dealt with, but a lot of times those stories end with good overcoming evil. And again, I don't have any problem with those. I love those kind of shows, love those kind of movies. On the other end of the spectrum, you have oftentimes like biopics where it focuses on, it doesn't always have to be a real person, but the story focuses on one single character and their struggle and their, the difficult road that they end up walking. Recently, my wife and mother and I watched a movie, and I am blanking on the name of this movie now. It had Sandra Bullock in it, and she plays a character, and I believe this is a fictional story. It's not based on a real character, but she plays a woman who is released from prison. She has done her time. She's paid her debt through her prison sentence, and she is released into the public. And in this story, it details her struggle to find work, the broken relationship that she has with her daughter and some of her other family members, and even some of the difficult relationship with the family that adopts her daughter while she is in prison. And it is, just to put it very plainly, it is a very tough movie. It is difficult because she really does a brilliant job of displaying the kind of empty brokenness that one feels coming out of prison and trying to reestablish yourself in life. I say all of that to say this. I started reading some of the reviews after we had watched the movie. And the reviews were, I believe, 60-40, really kind of trashing the movie and her performance in the movie. There were more than a couple of reviews that talked about her as a walking through life as a zombie. The joke was that it was kind of a low-level zombie movie because she walks through and deals with this difficulty of re-entering life. And I'm not going to spoil it. There is a really good twist that comes about 2/3 of the way through the movie. You start to realize some things. So I'm not going to spoil that, but she does a brilliant job of showing the difficulty of someone re-entering society from that kind of an experience. And the reality is that it is incredibly difficult for those re-entering society and feeling like a zombie and not really feeling a part of society at all. So I say all of that to say this. I think sometimes we take the easy cheese and we go, I don't want to see anything that depicts such the hard reality of life. And there's a big part of me that understands that. I mean, after the 2 years that we have been through with this pandemic and everything that has attended to that, presidential election and national upheaval and social justice, and I mean, everything. Okay, fine. Give me a good story that ends well, and I will jump on that in a hurry. So I get that response, but here's the other end that I think is difficult. We often shy away from the things that are hard. We push away from the stories that are difficult, and it creates this gap that exists between our lives and the lives of other people that are really hurting. Now, as a Christ follower, I have had to wrestle with and come to grips with the very simple fact that my life is not just about me, that my life instead is about how I reflect the face and activity of Jesus through the way that I live. So that requires me to put aside the things that I really want, the things that I really desired that I would be maybe selfish about. And it requires me to lean into the lives of other people around me. Now, I don't say that from a sanctimonious position because I don't always do that very well. There are many times that I find myself acting very selfishly and doing things that are for me, and that benefit me and me alone. What I am reminded of in watching this particular movie is that there are many people out there that are struggling and hurting. And I really need to be in the practice, the continual effort of making sure that I am not just making sure that my needs are met, that I am happy and satisfied and well fed. What am I doing to pour into the lives of other people? So, with that said, we are over our time as usual. So we'll see you next week.